Prince Harry has for the first time identified himself as an American resident, that is. This update not only shows just how far the Duke of Sussex has strayed from the country he's still in line to rule, few levels down, but it could also shake up his position within the royal family. As the second son of the reigning monarch, Prince Harry is one of the King's councillors of state, one of 7 appointees who can deputise for Charles if the King is abroad or unwell. But by law, those councillors are required to have a UK address. But since King Charles kicked Prince Harry out of Frogmore Cottage, well, he's no longer a British resident. Is he out of the inner circle completely now? Royal and entertainment reporter Kinsey Schofield joins me now from Los Angeles. Kinsey, how significant is this residential update?
That's right. Well, we found out about this because it's called Companies House, filed new paperwork for Harry's eco-travel venture Travelist. So this was surprising to us as Americans to discover that Prince Harry considers himself a good old-fashioned American today. And when it comes to councillors of state, I mean, he must have seen the writing on the wall last year when the King added, the Princess Royal Anne, added Prince Andrew, and then made it to where only working members of the royal family, whether they're on the list or not, only working members of the royal family could act on his behalf. I mean, without completely kicking him to the curb, that was the King, not only with Prince Harry, but with Prince Andrew too, saying, this is not a reality for you. So I do think that we are seeing Prince Harry accept the fact that he's no longer really welcome when it comes to decision making, when it comes to that inner circle. He's always going to be the King's son, but I don't think that the King or Prince William take Prince Harry seriously when it comes to the future of the monarchy. I think that they consider him long gone.
Well, King Charles and Queen Camilla celebrated their 19th wedding anniversary earlier this month. Where does the time go? But let's not forget what Prince Harry said last year.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
Why?
We didn't think it was necessary. We thought that it was going to cause more harm than good.
Kinsey, how fractured is that relationship? That interview isn't that long ago. Certainly it seems like Prince William and Queen Camilla are on good terms. Is there a chance Prince Harry can be forgiven for making those comments and for also what he wrote in his memoir?
I mean, 19 years on, I think you and I can agree that Queen Consort Camilla is a very intelligent woman. I mean, it was her great-grandmother that was having an affair with the King's great-great-grandfather. So the idea that Alice Keppel, was with the King's great-great-grandfather on his deathbed, the idea that one day the mistress would become the wife, and I'm not saying that to degrade her, but it's incredible what she's done over the last 20 years. And so obviously she's a very smart woman. I don't think anybody would describe Prince Harry as a smart man. She's played the long game, and I think she's done a lot of wonderful things for the King and for the King's legacy and just been there to support him. So I think she knows better than to let Prince Harry back into the fold without having a wall up, without being suspicious of his ultimate objectives, which, it's funny that he would call Camilla the villain and say that she needed to work on rehabilitating her image, because we're literally seeing the same thing happening with Harry's wife right now, Meghan Markle.
Yeah. Talking about Meghan Markle, I don't know if this is going to help her image, but she's finally done something with that new brand of hers, American Riviera Orchard. I just think that's the most ridiculous name. But she has produced a jam. Tell me about this. Has this been a success? I think it's a strawberry jam.
Yes. I mean, I would say that this is such a disappointment when you consider the fact that for the last 3 years, we have debated whether or not Meghan Markle is capable of running for president of the United States. And, we wait with bated breath for the big launch, and it's a strawberry jam. I mean, how incredibly disappointing if you really had expectations for Meghan Markle to take the White House. But, this is not even available on her website yet, Rita. It looks like she made 50 jars. She distributed them Hailey Bieber or Kylie Jenner style to her BFFs, the 1% around Santa Barbara. I'm sure one's sitting on Oprah's kitchen table right now. But it's interesting, this soft launch. What's the point when if you or I go to her website right now, we cannot even make a purchase? So why all this PR hype, especially when we just found out that the Princess of Wales is dealing with cancer, and we've known that the King is going through cancer treatment?
And these 50 jars that were numbered like works of art, it seems like she's sent out 50, but only 3 of these famous friends have bothered to post about it on their Instagram or social media platforms. So that's not a great strike rate. That just shows you people aren't trumpeting about receiving one of these jars from Meghan. Now let's talk about this Page 6 report about Neil Young. We spoke about him a while back when he did a backflip and went back on Spotify. They're saying he's going to make $2 million a year on Spotify now that he's ended his boycott. And let's not forget, he had this boycott over Joe Rogan because he decided Joe Rogan was some sort of evil, disinformation, dangerous podcaster, and he didn't want to share a platform with him. That bit of activism didn't last long. It seems that money over principles when it comes to Neil Young.
Well, I hate to go back to this, but also remember Harry and Meghan, after Neil Young did this, wrote Spotify saying that they had concerns about Joe Rogan on the platform. We see who Spotify sided with there. But Neil Young, he also tried, he said that he had to go back to Spotify because Joe Rogan was now being distributed on Amazon Music, on Apple platform. And he said he simply, he's a martyr. He said he didn't want to keep people from his music that wanted to hear his music. But the reality is $2 million buys a lot of Geritol and, disposable adult diapers. So God bless Neil Young.
Oh, that's harsh. I love it when you get harsh, Kinsey. You mentioned Amazon there, and the fiance of Amazon boss, Jeff Bezos, has been slammed as absolutely revolting by a famous restaurateur, Keith McNally. In an Instagram post he wrote, "Does anybody else find Jeff Bezos' new wife, Lauren Sanchez," is he a wife or is she a wife or a fiance? Anyway, Does anybody find Lauren Sanchez absolutely revolting? What an ugly and effing smug looking couple they make. Is this what having $1,000 billion does to people? Naturally, many celebrities have come to Lauren's defence, like model Chrissy Teigen, who sells her cookbooks on Bezos' Amazon platform. She said she's actually incredibly dynamic, accomplished and kind, and everyone who knows her would say the same. Just tell me what's behind this clash. Where's this coming from? And why is anybody commenting on Lauren Sanchez?
I know I have nothing negative to say about her. I do think the American public are kind of turned off by their PR pursuits. They are very grandiose and glam. She shows up at the White House just looking like $1 million, but not prim and proper. She goes very Hollywood. She started out as a local news anchor on KTLA here in Los Angeles, was a friend of Jeff Bezos and his wife before they ended up together. So I think people are just critical of them because there's a little bit of envy there, but I have not seen her say or do anything that I would criticize personally. I think she probably is a very nice person.
Kinsey Schofield, thank you so much for your time this evening.